So I'm sitting here about to upload the video onto the blog, and I totally forgot something that I had said in the original video that I took that didn't record that I wanted to say here as, I guess, a little opener to the video. I'll put this first. But I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that watches this or shares it with someone that you know that's going through something similar. Or anyone that just watches this just because you care about Nick and I. We feel the love and support that you guys give us, and it truly, truly means so much that we have so much of that love and support coming from all over the world. So just wanted to say thank you, whether you are a friend here in Hawaii and you let me cry on your shoulder, as I do quite frequently, or a friend that I call on the phone and cry over the phone to, or someone that just watches the videos and just sends little comments of love. It really means a lot to us to know that we have such a strong family and friend base behind us and supporting us in this journey that we're going on. So I just wanted to say thanks, guys. Hey everyone. So I actually just recorded this video upstairs, but turns out that the microphone wasn't recording. And so I guess now I'm just gonna have to do this on my phone, and it's gonna be a little bit shaky, so sorry. Just wanted to give you guys an update on everything that's been going on in terms of our infertility journey to try to have a baby thing. I think the last video was from the disappointment that we had with the cyst back in May. So in between our last cycle of IUI in January and May, we just took some time off. Nick's schedule wasn't really allowing him to be here to help with anything, and he's kind of important to the process, so we needed to take some time off, and I think it was good for the both of us to not have to worry about it and what day is it, and do I have to take this pill, or do I have to take this shot, or do I have to make another doctor's appointment. So it was really nice just to regroup and enjoy the time that we did have together, as little as it was, together, and not be focusing on days and pills and shots. So last May, we decided that we were going to give it another go, and as you guys saw, I ended up having a cyst on my left ovary. So it was really devastating because we had taken so much time off and everything was fine the first time we tried to do IUI with cysts and blood work and everything. So why all of a sudden my body decided to make cysts was really weird and kind of a scary thing for us. So we took all of last month off from everything. I was on complete pelvic rest, so she said the ovary is too fragile to try to upset it in any way. So no medications, no nothing. Like, don't use tampons during your period. I know that's a little bit of TMI, but she wanted absolutely nothing to happen. So we followed doctor's orders, and that cycle ended on June 9th. So that was cycle day 1, or this next cycle was on the 9th. I called the doctor because we have to do another ultrasound similar to the one that we did last month. It's called the baseline ultrasound, to check for cysts and just make sure everything is looking okay in the fallopian tubes and the uterus and the ovaries. So I called on the 9th, and I had an appointment for yesterday morning, and Nick was able to go with me, which was great because he wasn't there for the last one, and that really would have been helpful to have him there because of the news that we got, basically. And that way he can ask any questions that he has and everything about what's going on and what steps we take next. So I went yesterday morning, and we get there, and I've been having some sharp pains on my side, left and right. I know that the left cyst ruptured. I felt it rupture last month. It was pretty painful. So I wasn't worried that it was the same cyst on my left side, but I definitely knew something was going on. And I had cysts when I was 14. It required a surgical operation to go in and pop it at that time, and I've had a couple small ones since then, but nothing major like this. So we get there, and it's an internal ultrasound that they do. So she put the wand in, and the uterus looked fine, and she looked over at my left side, and it was kind of hidden, kind of hard to see. So she left that one alone for a little bit and then went over to my right side. And as soon as she put the wand on my right side, I felt a sharp shooting pain, and there it was. It's not really hard to miss, and you've had an ultrasound heck, when we're trying, I have an ultrasound every other day for a week to see when I'm ovulating, and then these baseline ultrasounds. So basically, I pretty much know what I'm looking for when it comes to looking for cysts on my ovaries at this point. So I definitely saw it. It was 2.5 centimeters on my right ovary, and it was like instant waterworks for me. I was obviously just as disappointed, if not more disappointed. Here goes another month of us not being able to do anything. Nick is here, so this would be the perfect timing for us to try, because when the boat leaves, then we have to freeze, and that costs money, and I would rather have him here to do it, since we're already doing or trying to conceive so unnaturally, so to speak. So I'd rather have him here for it instead of having to freeze and go through that whole process alone. So it was pretty upsetting, and she measured it, and then she looked back at my left side to see if she could see my left ovary, and it was kind of hidden still. She pressed down on my abdomen a couple times to try to get things to move around, see if she could bring it forward. She'd push and release, and then at this point it just starts hurting because you're pushing and prodding at the same spot over and over again. So she did see it, and when it popped up, or when she was able to see it, there was that little ring of, they call it like the pearl necklace, around my ovary, which is a sign of PCOS. So, sorry, something on the camera. It is a sign of PCOS, so I knew I had it. She said, it only looks slightly like you have PCOS. She said, I've seen a lot worse, but let's do this. Let's get some blood work done to test your testosterone levels, as well as a couple other things. You don't have irregular periods. You don't have abnormal hair growth, which are all signs of PCOS. So let's just redo some blood and see what that tells us in terms of your PCOS, and see if that's something that we need to look more into. And then she also said, while we're taking your blood work, I want to check your estrogen levels. This is where I was still so upset, so I wasn't really paying attention as well as I should have. But so I'm pretty sure she said if the numbers are low, then that's a good thing, and it means it's a functional cyst, and that it will move its way forward and could potentially turn into a good sized follicle for us to use in terms of ovulation. And if it's below 40, if it's above 40, then there's nothing that we can do. It's hopefully will rupture on its own. It's something to be concerned about. The good news is that the cyst is on the opposite side. So usually if they end up on the same side, that's an issue that you need to look into more like of a surgical route, because my body wouldn't be, you're supposed to switch off left and right sides when you ovulate. So I guess that was a little bit of good news. I was still just as upset, even though we went and had the blood work done. Just that not knowing, is this going to be another cyst where I can't do anything? Are we going to lose out on a whole nother cycle? All of that was going through my mind. So I went and I did the blood work, and then we went and got my prescription. She prescribed me the Clomid to have, and the trigger shot again, just in case the lab work came back as it was low, my estrogen level was low, and we could go ahead with the Clomid. So we did all that, got the prescription, went home, and before the end of the day, she called me back, which I was really surprised about. I wasn't expecting to hear from her until today. But she called me back last night and said, your levels are low, and so we can go ahead and do a round of Clomid this month and go ahead and give this another try, which is really exciting because of what happened last month and because of the initial disappointment that we had this month. So yesterday was cycle day 3, and typically when you're taking Clomid, you take it days 5 through 9. But because of the way that would end up in the calendar, I would end up ovulating over the weekend, next weekend, and she didn't want to miss anything, especially with me already having a follicle or cyst or whatever it is there, just in case that does become something larger and I'm just ovulating early. She wants to make sure she doesn't miss anything. So she had me start the Clomid last night on day 3, and I did some research, and I've seen people take it that early before. So I started it last night, and they upped my dosage, which is a little scary because I did have the severe mood swings and the hot flashes the first time I took it. So, and that was only 50 milligrams, now I'm taking 150. So I was pretty nervous about taking it, but I did. I took it last night, and I didn't really have the mood swings. I did get a little bit warm. We just turned the air conditioning down, so it was fine. I did, however, wake up about 3 a.m. this morning to the worst cramps I have probably ever experienced in my life. I couldn't walk. It was like down my legs, up my back, obviously in my lower stomach. I went up, I tried to go to the bathroom. It was horrible. Horrible pain. It's 3 a.m. and Nick has to get up and go to work in the morning. I don't want to wake him up. I came downstairs. I took 2 ibuprofen, Motrin, 400s, whatever. I took 2 of those and I sat on the couch and I cried and I rolled around in pain. It was the most agonizing pain I've ever felt. Thank God the ibuprofen worked and took that pain away so I could get some more rest. Another thing that was concerning is, this might be a little TMI, so if you don't want to hear it, then stop the video. But I was bleeding a lot. For day 4, well, the end of day 3, early day 4, usually, at least for me, my cycle or my periods aren't that heavy. So it was really strange to me that all of a sudden I started bleeding bright red blood again, which kind of caused a little concern. It stopped as of this morning. Everything is fine. I'm not cramping anymore. And it's weird because I took the medication at 8 o'clock at night, and this was 3 a.m. So I feel like that's quite a bit of time difference for it to be a reaction to the medication. So I'm thinking it could have been the cyst that was there. Maybe it ruptured, and now everything's going back to normal? I don't know. If it happens again tonight, I'm definitely going to call the doctor in the morning and let her know and see what she says. I'm assuming she would probably tell me to stop taking it, but we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. Hopefully not. So that's where we are now. Sorry, this is a really run-on video. Geez, 11 minutes of me just talking and talking and talking. But it's good news for now, and we're really looking forward to doing this cycle. And fingers crossed that 3rd time is the charm. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.